This is what happens when you actually look into why green onions spoil so fast and fix it with 6 storage methods that hold up to scrutiny. Some of what you've probably heard about storing green onions is right. Some of it is outdated. And one popular method floating around online actually needs a safety correction, which I'll get to. If you've ever grabbed a big bunch of green onions because they were cheap that week, then watch them turn slimy in the crisper drawer 3 days later, you're not doing anything wrong. Green onions are just built to fail fast in the wrong conditions. They're thin, they're mostly water, and loose in a crisper drawer, they'll only hold up for a day or two before they start to wilt. The good news is that with a little bit of prep, you can stretch that out to weeks, months, or in some cases indefinitely. Let's go through it properly, starting with something most people skip entirely. Method 1. The wash that actually does something. A lot of people just rinse green onions under the tap and call it done. Plain water rinsing does reduce pesticide residue somewhat, but it's the least effective option out of the common household methods. Here's what the research actually shows. A peer-reviewed study from the Environmental Working Group found that rinsing with water gave a median pesticide reduction of about 34%. Soaking in plain water was a little better than that. But soaking in a baking soda solution performed meaningfully better than both, with a median reduction of around 51%. A separate scoping review that looked across 47 peer-reviewed studies backed this up, finding that baking soda or vinegar soaks outperform plain water rinsing by more than 15 percentage points on average. So here's the method. Fill a bowl with clean water, add a tablespoon of salt and a tablespoon of baking soda, and stir until it's dissolved. Submerge the whole bunch of green onions. Now, here's the part worth correcting. A lot of tutorials tell you to soak for 5 to 7 minutes. The research points to longer being better. A widely cited University of Massachusetts study found that a full 15-minute soak in a baking soda solution was needed to get the best surface pesticide removal. So, if you have the time, let them sit closer to 12 to 15 minutes rather than rushing it. One honest caveat here. Baking soda soaks work on residue sitting on the surface of the plant. If a pesticide has already been absorbed into the tissue, no amount of soaking is going to pull that back out. So this step reduces exposure. It doesn't eliminate it entirely. Once they're done soaking, rinse them again under clean water, gently, so you're not bruising the stalks. Then drain them well in a colander. The drier your green onions are before storage, the less likely you are to get ROT or mold setting in early. Wet green onions in a sealed container are asking for trouble. Method 2. The oil jar. Once your green onions are washed and dry, chop them the way you would normally use them for cooking. A popular method online has you packing the chopped onions into a glass jar, covering them completely with olive oil, sealing the lid, and just keeping that jar in the refrigerator indefinitely, refilling as needed. Here's the problem. When raw vegetables are stored under a layer of oil, that creates a low oxygen environment. And that is exactly the kind of environment that lets Clostridium botulinum, the bacteria behind botulism, grow. This is not a fringe concern. It is documented enough that Food Safety Extension Services actively warn about it. And there have been real botulism cases tied to home-prepared vegetables stored in oil, garlic and oil specifically being one of the most cited examples. The part that surprises most people is your fridge is not actually the safeguard here. Research on this exact issue found that home refrigerators often are not consistently cold enough to fully stop that bacterial growth over time. Based on that research, the standard guidance from food safety extension programs is that vegetables or herbs stored in oil should be used, thrown out, or moved to the freezer within about 4 days. So if you like this method for the convenience of it, here's how to use it safely. Make a smaller batch than you think you need. Keep it refrigerated, and treat that 4-day mark as a hard rule, not a suggestion. If you want a bigger batch that lasts longer, freeze the oil and onion mixture instead of leaving it in the fridge indefinitely. Freezing stops the bacterial growth that refrigeration alone will not fully control. It is a small adjustment to a popular method, but it is the difference between a genuinely useful storage trick and a real health risk that most tutorials just do not mention. If you want green onions ready to go for months without thinking about it, freezing is your most reliable long-term option, as long as you're using them in cooked dishes rather than as a fresh garnish, because the texture does change once they thaw. Chop your washed, dried green onions the way you'd use them in cooking. You can portion them into an ice cube tray with a small amount of water in each compartment, or simply spread them out and freeze them loose before transferring to a bag, which keeps them from clumping into one solid block. On shelf life, the research here gives a range depending on the source. Frozen green onions maintain their best quality for roughly 10 to 12 months. And importantly, if they're kept consistently frozen at 0 degrees Fahrenheit, they remain safe to eat indefinitely. The trade-off is texture. Frozen green onions go soft once thawed, so this isn't the method for topping a salad or garnishing a finished plate. It's the method for soups, stir-fries, and anything getting cooked anyway, where you just want that oniony flavor without prepping from scratch every time. Method 4. Paper towel layering. This is the method for people who want their green onions to stay whole, fresh, and ready to chop on demand, not pre-chopped, not frozen. Take a food storage container and line the bottom with a layer of paper towel. Lay your green onions in gently, no need to press them down. Cover with another layer of paper towel, then repeat with another layer of onions, alternating until you're done. The paper towel's job here is straightforward. It pulls excess moisture away from the onions, so they're not sitting in dampness at the base, which is usually what causes the slimy texture people associate with spoiled green onions. Once everything's layered, close the container and place it in the fridge. This method holds up well for people who go through green onions steadily, but don't need an enormous batch preserved for the long haul. It's more of a 2 to 3 week solution than a months-long one, based on how similar paper towel and bag storage methods perform in home testing. Method 5. Dehydrating for a shelf-stable seasoning. If you want something that doesn't need fridge or freezer space at all, drying your green onions turns them into a seasoning you can keep in the pantry. I'll be upfront here. The specific temperature and timing I use for this comes from my own kitchen testing, not a published food safety standard, so treat it as a starting point and adjust based on your own equipment. Spread chopped, thoroughly dried green onions in a thin, even layer in the AIR fryer basket. Dry them at a low temperature, checking and stirring partway through so they dry evenly, and watching closely toward the end since thin pieces like this can go from dry to burnt quickly. Once they're fully dried, let them cool completely before sealing them in a jar. This matters more than it sounds like it should. If you jar them while they're still warm, the trapped moisture from that residual heat can undo all the drying work and lead to spoilage inside a sealed container. Once cooled and jarred, dried alliums like this are generally shelf-stable for an extended period kept away from light and moisture, the same way any dried herb or vegetable is. It's a good way to use up a big batch without dedicating fridge or freezer space to it, and it turns into an easy seasoning for eggs, roasted vegetables, or anything that wants a little extra savory lift. Method 6. Regrowing from the root. Last one, and this might be the simplest of all. If your green onions still have their roots intact, you don't have to store them as a finished product at all. You can keep them semi-alive. Trim off any wilted outer leaves, keeping the root end intact. Place the roots in a glass with just enough water to cover them, about 1 inch to 2 inches. For the leafy tops, loosely cover with a bag rather than sealing it tightly. You want AIR flow so the leaves stay moist without trapping enough humidity to make them rot. Then the whole glass goes in the fridge. because the roots are still drawing up water. This isn't just slowing decay the way the other methods do. The onions are staying biologically active. That's part of why this method tends to hold up for a week or more beyond what loose refrigeration gives you. And some people successfully keep this going even longer with regular water changes. So that's 6 ways to handle a bunch of green onions. And which one makes sense really comes down to how you cook. If you go through green onions constantly and want them ready to grab, the paper towel method or the root in water method keeps them fresh and whole for daily use. If you cook in batches and want zero prep later, freezing or the oil jar done safely, within that 4-day window gets you there fast. And if you'd rather have a shelf-stable seasoning, you never have to think about. Drying is the one to lean on. If you've tried any of these, or you've got a method that's worked for you that I didn't cover here, drop it in the comments. I read through them, and half the time the best tips come from people who've been doing this longer than any of us have been researching it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.